Welcome to the second episode of the MDS Leadership Spotlight series. In this series, we will interview influential women within MDS and discuss their careers and great achievements. I am Leila Ali. I am glad to present to you today Professor Elena Moro. Prof. Moro was born in Italy and she earned a medical doctor degree at the University of Trieste in 1989. She then pursued a career in movement disorders that started at the Joseph Fourier University in Grenoble. Afterwards, she worked in Milano and later on in Toronto, Canada, before returning back to France. Prof. Moro is well respected in the fields of neurology and movement disorders, and she occupies many leadership positions in international societies. Good morning, Professor Elena Moro. Welcome to the second episode of the Leadership Spotlight series. So we will start with the first question. We know that you and Prof. Hero are co-chairs of the Women in MDS Special Interest Group. So we would like to ask you how you came up with this idea and what this group means to you.
So first of all, thank you very much, Leila, for interviewing me. And really, I hope that this interview can stimulate and help other women. This is the purpose of these interviews in movement disorders. So let's start with your first question, which is very important because it gives us the opportunity to briefly explain why we decided to organize this, to ask the movement disorder to organize this group. It's been several years ago that inside the society, a group of women, and I used to belong to this group, we started thinking that maybe women in movement disorder should be more recognized. There were several years ago. So at that time, most of the leaders were only men. And we thought that something was not right. And at that time, they were starting these papers that now are very common in very important journals like Lancet, Neurology, that women are underrepresented in academic institutions, in publishing papers, and in winning research grants. So at that time we were thinking, well, something is wrong. We should do something. We should think more about. And but it probably was too early. We are too advanced. And now there is this opportunity because the society is changing. The movement disorder society, but all the other society, the percentage of women active as members in the society are basically 50-50. And we have to think that the society needs women leaders to guide the society in the future. And to do that, women, they like men, but they need to be taught. They needed to understand, as Melissa Armstrong wrote years ago, that they have to win the imposter syndrome. They have to really to believe that they can be as good as the men colleagues are, and even better than men. So this is the idea of support women in movement disorder, help them and work together to guide the society in the next few years as women in movement disorder.
Thank you so much, Prof. Moro, for being for taking this first step to inspire women in neurology to move forward and take leadership positions. So we will move on to the second question. We know that you are an expert in deep brain stimulation. What motivated you to take that path in particular?
This is an interesting question because it goes back to 30 years ago. And I had an unusual, I would say, pathways as in my scientific careers. You have to know that I decided to be a general surgeon at the beginning. And yes, I did the 2 years in general surgery residency. Then I realized that maybe neurology was much more interesting because you could take the human beings, consider human beings in more general and comprehensive and holistic ways, and not spend all the time in the OR all day. And the reason why I chose deep brain stimulation was because it was just starting in Italy at the time. And I thought that, you know, surgery, surgery for movement disorder reminded me the first love that I had in my professional life. And so I decided to specifically go into this neurosurgical, functional neurosurgical area for movement disorder, just because I really like the surgical ideas of treating people with movement disorders.
Oh, so this shows that you are someone who wants to make a change and who want to see it like in a practical way. Thank you so much for inspiring other women to follow up that path. Now we'll move on to another question. Do you have any female figure that inspired you to pursue the career in movement disorders?
Oh, yes, there are many actually. If you want to ask me, when I was very young, right? So at the beginning, I think I was in Italy at that time. One particularly person who was extremely important at that time was Professor Emilia Martignoni. She was a woman, of course, a neurologist working in Pavia. And she was extremely smart, but very humble. And at that time, you know, it was difficult for her to be, I have to say that, recognized as, you know, a very important woman involved in movement disorder in Italy. But she was extremely, I think, the example that we have to follow, and inspired me for this reason. So a person with passion, we need passion to go forward. If you don't have passion, it's better to change our job. The dedication to our job, to our patients, the curiosity that you have, that is your passion and curiosity, they make your day every day. The competence that you need to achieve, to be recognized by your peers and the patients, and to have fun. When you do something that you do with the joy, you have fun to do, you like to do that. These are, I think, what she represented for me. And she inspired me. Besides, also my dearest colleague at the time, Professor Annarita Bentivoglio in Rome. She's still there. Professor Martignoni unfortunately died 10 years ago at 6 years old age. But these are in Italy the first one who motivated me. And there are a lot of others in Europe and above all in the United States. I will stay all day to mention them, but it's very important really to have these women helping us.
Thank you, Prof. Moro. Actually, I attended to one of your conferences in Tunisia about the deep brain stimulation, and I could tell that you carry a lot of these criteria in your character. So we will move on to the next question. Since your research is focused on brain nuclei, can you tell us something that you find fascinating about the subthalamic nucleus, for example?
Well, the subthalamic nucleus is a universe. Yes, you realize that, with this very small area, you can have, find, as I said, the universe of the brain, what you need to know about the basal ganglia. Now, we know that they are in circuits, that basically there are several areas that you can touch and you can improve your patients with movement disorder when you modulate this area. But the STN, because we can see the STN in the MRI, right? So which ideally is also easy to reach, just having an MRI and you want to target for example, Parkinson's disease. I think that the ability that you have now to use neuroimaging, we didn't have this ability years ago. we now, and also to record now a little in the continuity when the patient is doing a job or the life, natural life, and at that time we couldn't do that, right? So, but we had with the work that has been done previously, for example, by parent, we have now really the possibility to realize that our, I would say, predecessor, they already discovered so many things in this nuclei, but they didn't have the possibility that we have now to study these areas. And not even the possibility that I had at the time with when we started to stimulate, we were seeing amazing things. These people being able to recover the quality of their life. It was fascinating. So, and we just clinically, we saw, oh, it makes them better, but not only motor-wise, they feel better in the emotion. So why is that? Yes, the parent said that there is a limbic area, there is a somatosensory area, so it was the motor area. So it was interesting, right, to realize that what our predecessor they found, we could reproduce it. And now with the micro recording, with the oscillatory activity, local field potential, neuroimaging, we establish again the same thing, but we can even go further and find a new connection. A small universe, right? A small universe that we are still exploring today.
We will move on to the last question. I would like to ask you if you have any certain activities that you do in your free time. Do you have any certain hobbies that you would like to share with all of us?
Yeah, and Leila, again, these are very important questions, right? Because we need to balance our life, right? So I have to say that my nature is to overwork. Because I always think that I have to do more than what I'm doing. I'm some imposter syndrome as well. And I would like to have 48 hours per day to finish all the things that I accumulate during my day. But I learned that we have limits and we have to carefully balance our life. So even if I don't theoretically have a free spare time, I find it. So I try to have 3 rules. One is to have some exercise because you know we have a sedentary life, so we need to for our health to have some time to exercise. So I run because it's easy, early in the morning, nobody's there. No, so you can go, and the only sacrifice is to get up early. And this is one thing. Then I think that the meditation is very important because you put yourself, you know, you reconstruct yourself. You start your day, you prepare, you think, you go back, you plan. You take yourself in your hands, and you can, you know, get the strength, not only the physical strength, the psychological strength to start your day. And then the other thing, spare time is family and friends. Family and friends are, I think, the most important thing in your life. They help you, they support you, and these are my 3 rules for my free times, spare time.
Interesting 3 rules. Dr. Moro, thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed today, and thank you for being such an inspirational role model for all of us. And thank you also for being such an influential woman scientist. We look forward to become like you in the future. Thank you so much.
Much better. Thank you so much, Leila. Thank you.